And here's some interesting stats, right? So we also run another huge taboo thing. We also run discovery ads on YouTube to our video sales letter, to our YouTube video. And, a lot of people say it tarnishes the channel, and it might. I don't know. I'll figure out. I've been doing it for 4 months, but I do know for sure that it's bringing us sales. And so here's an interesting number for all of the listeners here. YouTube gives you 2 metrics when you're running YouTube discovery ads. One is the average cost per view, and the other is what they call an earned view, a cost per earned view. So cost per view is obvious, how much it costs for someone to watch 5 seconds of your video. The cost per earned view, YouTube's the only platform that does this, and it is after they watch that one video that you sent them to, that you pay to send them to, how much is it costing you for them to, on their own, go watch another video on your channel? So going back to that 7-11 full rule, you're pretty much figuring out how much does it cost you to get someone to watch multiple touch points.
And if your video is good, you're only paying for the ads ran on the one video, but if you can make that cost per earned view as low as possible,
you're getting that.
Then you're getting continued depth of the 7-11
It's a binge
forum.
watching. And there's like a few tactics and hacks that we do and we work with our clients to like almost force YouTube to suggest the next video that comes up. But even just the simple like, okay, after this video, check out this video. But to give you some numbers, our average cost per view is 16 cents. Our average cost per earned view is 28 cents. To show you an interesting number, obviously I've spent millions of dollars in ads, in video sales letters, et cetera, et cetera. That same video sales letter behind an opt-in page, if I were to run Facebook ads to it, costs us about $25 for a lead to opt in. And then we have a 50% play rate, meaning that 50% of people will click play on the video sales letter. So it's costing us $50 for someone to watch that video versus the 16 cents it's costing us on YouTube. And if they don't book a call from the regular sales funnel on Facebook, well, then we lose them, right? Maybe we have retargeting, but that costs more money. But on YouTube, they're
watch another stuff.
Watch another video right after that.
And nobody is doing this marketing tactic, which is, whenever people run YouTube ads, which is what you're talking about now, paying for ads on your VSL that's on YouTube. When everybody runs YouTube ads, it's what's called a dark post. You see it as a pre-roll ad, but it's not live on their channel. You've made your VSL, this YouTube video that adds value and makes an offer, public, and it's sitting on your channel so it can have organic reach and organic impact. But then you're running ads on it, so you get best of both worlds.
Exactly.
And for the listener that's wondering, like you said, does it hurt your channel? And you asked me that, I couldn't give you a clear answer. I said that YouTube employees say it does not. You heard YouTube employees say there's 2 algorithms. I said I don't know if I believe there's 2 algorithms, because paid ads might drive down your average view duration and your watch time.
It definitely does.
Of course it will.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Because you're showing it to strangers as opposed to the people that love you. But if there's 2 algorithms, then they would say that they're keeping the metrics from organic and paid separate. I don't know if that's true. We'll have to report back. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast for deep dive combos like this. But nevertheless, from your vantage point, you're already you're tracking ROI. Period. You're tracking book calls. You're tracking business metrics, and this thing is crushing. And it is getting organic reach. It is reaching new people. You are paid and able to reach cold traffic, meaning people who don't know you. And not only that, you're then also getting earned views.
Yeah.
So rather than, to your point, the old way of doing it is this expensive way of like moving people off the platform and somewhere else. And they opt in, but it's fake information. So it doesn't even matter. And they opt in, but it goes to junk and spam and they never see it. And they opt in and email deliverability, and they opt in and they start the web class. They don't even watch it. But there's so many other things that can happen here because of your term self-sustaining sales funnel. Because again, maybe they don't finish that video, but they are distracted and check another one of your videos out. Who is this person? They're kind of researching you on the side. And the numbers you just shared in a paid acquisition world?
Yeah, huge.
16 cents?
When I show other people that are like in my world, like of paid ad, they're just like everyone's like, how are you doing this?
This is
you know
crazy.
What I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, that's wild. Anything else on that before we transition there?
No, I would just say I will say, so one of our values is radical transparency. It might hurt my channel in the long run. I don't know. As of right now, we've been running it for a few months. I haven't seen any difference in my average views per the videos that I'm publishing. There might be a little bit of a slight dip, but there's also, I think, a slight dip because I'm putting out out that content that's not as edited, the content that's just like whatever I want to talk about, not what the algorithm wants me to talk about. To your credit, if I did a video on how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator tomorrow, it'd be my number one video. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
Instead of like how we're using collaborations in order to grow our business. But we already covered about why I'm switching it. So like you said, I think it'll be good for even maybe if I come back on this podcast in like 6 months or something like that to like report of what this thing, or people just look at my channel, they can see the differences. So I think that's the only caveat. I know you have a lot of content creators. This specific self-sustaining funnel, in my opinion, works best. What I tell people for business owners that are trying to use content to grow their business, maybe not people that are content creators that are trying to use content as their business, as they're somewhat the same, but sometimes those are two separate things.
Yeah. Because if you're using content, then you're probably thinking more brand deals.
Exactly.
Maybe trying to build Patreon, AdSense. And so you maybe do want to rank a video about Sales Navigator because the CPM and the RPM would be high and the video gets watched for years to come.
Yep.
And it pays you a few $1,000s. But to what you're talking about, like that's not even a game you're playing. You're playing an entirely different game. Side note, there's a good book on that. That's about like, you need to define what game you're playing.
Yeah.
One of the worst things you could do is like, you're looking at somebody else who's playing a different game than you and trying to implement their tactics, like trying to apply basketball to baseball. You got to know what game you're playing.
Yep.
Now you said, and that's a great idea to have you back on the podcast. One of the reasons I love you is because you actually have real data and some stuff that we could look into, but you mentioned one of your principles, radical transparency, which I appreciate. Just as this definitely been an open book, getting into the weeds behind the scenes of your business.
If you enjoyed this podcast and are ready for some deep dive YouTube strategy, just go to thinkmasterclass.com to get access to my 1 hour on demand YouTube strategy class. You'll be looking over my shoulder as I share my best tips, and you can watch it on demand right now at thinkmasterclass.com.